It was supposed to be just another quiet Saturday afternoon in the life of Logan Hayes, a man who once led soldiers through fire and now led a very different kind of battle, life as a single dad. The sunlight filtered through the cafe window, glinting off the half-empty coffee cup in front of him. The chair across the table remained painfully empty, and so did his heart. He checked his watch again. 2:30 p.m. The date was supposed to start at 2. His palms rested over the table, large, scarred, calloused hands that had carried rifles once, and now carried lunchboxes. The silence of the cafe echoed louder with every passing second. She wasn't coming. Another no-show. Another promise of hope that faded before it even began. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet courage of starting over, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Soul of Light. Your support helps stories like this find the hearts they're meant to touch. Logan had been out of the army for 5 years, but he still woke up at 5 a.m. every day. Some habits never die. What had died, though, was his wife, Megan, 3 years ago in a car accident that shattered everything. He'd raised his 8-year-old daughter, Harper, alone ever since. There were mornings he'd look at her, brushing her hair into a ponytail before school, and wonder how such a small person could hold so much light. But there were nights too, long, hollow nights when the house felt too big, too quiet, and her laughter couldn't fill the space where love used to live. His friends from the veterans group had begged him to try dating again. "You deserve happiness, man," they said. Megan would want that. He wasn't so sure. Still, he downloaded the app, filled in his profile with more hesitation than hope, and somehow matched with a woman named Claire. She sounded kind, funny even. She loved hiking, coffee, and kids who still believed in magic. That line had made him smile. Now, sitting in this cafe surrounded by soft jazz and the hum of other conversations, Logan felt like a fool for believing in magic again. He had even ironed his shirt that morning, something he hadn't done in months. The waitress came by with a sympathetic smile. "Would you like another refill, sir?" she asked gently. Logan looked up and forced a small grin. "No, thank you. I think I've had enough waiting for today." He pulled a few bills from his wallet, left them under the saucer, and stood to leave. The old wound in his leg, his souvenir from the war, throbbed as he walked toward the door. He was halfway out when he heard the small chorus of giggles behind him. "Mommy, is that him?" A little girl's voice whispered. Logan turned around. 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys, ranging from maybe 5 to 11, stood by the cafe entrance, slightly out of breath, as if they had run all the way there. Behind them, a woman rushed in, cheeks flushed, hair slightly messy, eyes wide with apology. "I am so sorry," she said, trying to catch her breath. "You must be Logan. I'm Claire." For a second, Logan just stared, caught between confusion and disbelief. The kids waved shyly. One of the girls piped up, "Our mommy's sorry she's late. We had soccer, and then my brother couldn't find his shoes." Claire laughed nervously, clearly embarrassed. "They insisted on coming with me. I didn't want to, lie to them about meeting someone new. I hope that's okay." Something inside Logan softened. Maybe it was her honesty. Maybe it was the sheer chaos of it, the complete opposite of the silent emptiness he'd been drowning in moments earlier. "It's more than okay," he said finally, his voice warm. "I'm just glad you made it." The next hour was unlike any date Logan had ever imagined. Claire ordered coffee while her kids devoured chocolate muffins like they hadn't eaten in days. They talked about school, pets, and how Mom burns pancakes every Sunday, but we eat them anyway. Logan found himself laughing more than he had in months. He told them stories, toned down versions of his army days, ones with funny endings instead of tragic ones. The kids listened wide-eyed, like he was some kind of superhero. Claire watched him quietly, the way someone watches light returning to a dark room. Between bites and laughter, Logan learned that Claire was a nurse, widowed 4 years ago. Her husband, a firefighter, had lost his life during a building collapse. "It's been hard," she admitted softly, stirring her coffee, "but these 4 keep me standing." Her eyes shimmered, and for a moment neither spoke. They didn't need to. Some kinds of pain recognized each other instantly. As the sun dipped slightly through the cafe window, painting warm reflections on the table, Claire's youngest climbed into Logan's lap without asking. "You're nice," the boy said simply. Logan froze for a moment, then smiled. "Thanks, buddy." That small weight against his chest, innocent, trusting, did something no medicine or therapy had managed to do. It healed a piece of him he didn't know was still broken. Over the next few weeks, one coffee date turned into park visits, late afternoon picnics, and shared dinners where Harper finally found someone who laughed at her knock jokes. Claire and Logan never rushed it. Both carried too much past to move quickly, but somehow each encounter felt like breathing again after holding one's breath for years. One Saturday, they took all 5 kids to a nearby lake. The air smelled like pine and sunlight. The children's laughter echoed across the water as they skipped stones and chased each other through the sand. Logan stood beside Claire, watching the chaos unfold. "You know," he said quietly, "I thought I'd never be ready for this again, for any of this." Claire smiled, her eyes reflecting the bright sky. "Maybe we don't have to be ready," she replied. "Maybe we just have to be willing." That night, after the kids were asleep in the car on the way home, Claire whispered, "Thank you," for not walking out that day. Logan glanced at her, heart full. "I almost did," he admitted, "but something told me to wait just a little longer." She smiled. Guess that something was fate. Months passed, and life started to look different. Logan found joy in small things again. The smell of pancakes on Sunday, the sight of Claire's hand resting lightly on his as they watched their children play together. The scars on his heart were still there, but they didn't ache as much anymore. Instead, they reminded him of the journey, how love sometimes returns quietly, wearing the face of laughter and second chances. On a bright afternoon nearly a year later, Logan stood in his backyard setting up a picnic table. Harper was hanging paper hearts, and Claire's kids were running around with balloons. Today was special, not a wedding, not an anniversary, but something deeper. It was Family Day, as the kids called it, a day to celebrate the family they had built, not by blood, but by choice. As everyone gathered around, Logan looked at the 6 faces in front of him, Claire's gentle smile, Harper's radiant grin, the kids' uncontainable joy, and felt something unshakable settle in his chest. Peace, gratitude, love that didn't erase the past, but built beautifully over it. He raised his glass of lemonade. "To second chances," he said, voice steady but full of emotion, "to love showing up, even when we least expect it." Claire reached for his hand, eyes shining. "And to people who wait, even when it's hard." The kids cheered, their laughter ringing across the yard like sunlight caught in sound. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Your support keeps stories of love, hope, and healing alive on Soul of Light. And before you go, I have one special request. Drop a comment below with one word that describes what second chances mean to you. Because sometimes the most beautiful beginnings start with someone simply being late, the end.